Hello, welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole, and today we have the Diablo IV quarterly update of June 2021. If you have never heard about this, Blizzard is basically releasing a quarterly update on how the development of Diablo IV is going, because Diablo IV is still a long way out. I assume we are not seeing the game in the next 2 years, if at all. And they're just giving us quarterly updates. But those quarterly updates are always quite substantial. And today they are talking about art, character artists, art directors, and all that come together to talk about the art direction they are taking with Diablo 4. So let's have a read in this, shall we? Hello, and welcome once again to the new Diablo 4 quarterly update. We hope you enjoyed the Rogue class announcement during BlizzConline. We had a blast creating the Rogue and open world video segments, sharing them with you, and seeing your reactions. It was especially cool to share our updates as part of the larger Diablo family alongside Diablo Immortal and the all-new Diablo 2 Resurrected, both of which I personally can't wait to play with you all. As we transition back to a blog format, we will continue to spotlight different aspects of development. Today we are going to be focusing on Diablo 4 character art, player characters, monsters, and allies. Art is a critical part of what makes Diablo Diablo. Our signature randomized dungeons would not feel like Diablo without the ominous lighting, setting the mood as players uncover horrifying details around every dark corner. Combat only feels visceral thanks to the carefully crafted animations and visual effects that make spells and abilities sing. And while stats might make you break an item, we often can't wait to get your hands on a piece of gear purely because of how incredible it looks. Character art is equally important as it encompasses two of Diablo's key elements, classes and monster. The look and feel of the classes, man, what is going on with my English today, folks, has always been one of Diablo's secret ingredients, each class instantly recognizable and imbued with strong and unique personality. Diablo 4 offers players more customization options than ever in a Diablo game, which makes achieving that result more challenging, but the outcome is well worth it. Your barbarian is different from anyone else, but still feels undeniable like a barbarian. With monsters, the focus has been on creating new foes and updating classic drawn from the pantheon of atrocities in our previous games, while using new process and technology to their fullest. To give us a better look at everything involved in this process, and I'll leave the rest of the update in the hands of our very own art director, John Müller, and his team. We hope you enjoy it and look forward to your thoughts and reactions. As always, let us know what topics you want to hear about in the future. Be sure to stay tuned as we are planning to delve deeper into the topics of sound design and endgame system later this year. So assume that sound design will be up in fall, and then we are getting more talk about the endgame systems in winter? Would be my guess. Oh, there's Lilith. That looks kind of cool. Damn. That looks really good. I love this. This looks really, really good. I love art. Art. Hi all. We are excited to do a deep dive on the character art for Diablo 4. This is a pretty exciting topic for our team because so damn much has changed from Diablo 3. You will get to hear from our lead character artist, Arnud Kotelnikov. Bah, I'm bad at names, man. And Nick Celano, our associate character art director. So the reality is, let's face it here, this is a lot of read. This is a long thing. The art direction of Diablo 3 was what a lot of people didn't like. Diablo 1 and 2 were very visceral, very grayish, toned down colors. It was very grim and dark. And then with Diablo 3, Blizzard took over from Blizzard North, which was a completely different studio. And Blizzard Blizzardify the art style. You know, when you look at the Blizzard art style, there is this Disney-esque feeling to it, right? Like, when you look at Disney, you look at the art and you were like, yeah, that's a Disney movie. Yeah, totally. And Blizzard basically tried to do the same thing back in the days with all their games. Looking very similar, still different, but you could always tell you were looking at a Blizzard game. And like this cartoonish look they tried to add to everything, and they tried the same thing with Diablo. And the community didn't like that a bit. Yes, I know the new players who joined Diablo 3, they have no comparison, and they actually enjoyed that art style. But for the people who have been playing this game for years, a lot of people just found that it didn't resonate as well. And I will be honest, I'm going back, like when I take a look at Resurrected right now, Diablo 2 Resurrected, I look back at it and I was like, wow, yeah, this is very dark, very, like you have this creepy feeling in the back of your head that something is not right, and everything is just grim and dark. And with Diablo 3, I never had that. Now, yeah, sure, there were some gruesome displays here and there in Diablo 3, but it was still all very cartoonish. Which, like, it was very much stylized. And I never had this bad feeling as in Diablo 1 or Diablo 2 with Diablo 3. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it never got me the same feeling. And it seems like they are finally going back to that. Ooh, look at that. Give me just 1 second here, folks. I can actually... Yoink. Boom. Let's do that. That's much better. Yeah, look at this. Like, those are all, like, what is it? The rogue? There's a lot of difference here. I like that. Lots of variation. It looks great. Man, look at the detail. That looks pretty good. I love the variety they have now, which is great. Yep, love that so much more. We made massive improvements to the level of detail, the surfacing of complex materials like skin, cloth simulation, hair, fur, metal, even down to the details of the highlights of the eyes and rivulets of perspiration. Yeah, you can see it like here a little bit. Reminds me a bit of Conan. seeing this outfit, it reminds me a bit of Conan, which I like. I really do. I think this is great. Looks good. I'm in Diablo. I'm not gonna looking at faces, but at huge ass damage numbers. Here's the thing. I understand that. But for Blizzard, it has now become a mission to make sure that everyone acknowledges that they have understood what players didn't like about Diablo 3. And it's a bit weird, and I'm a little bit afraid of how Blizzard has perceived the failure of Diablo 3. And it's all about the art style. Like, they're focusing really a lot of the art style. And it's like, don't get me wrong, Blizzard. I never liked the art style of Diablo 3. I think it was not good. I think it didn't fit the Diablo feeling. But in the end, why I didn't put as much hours into Diablo 3 as I did in like other action RPGs at the time, it came down to the gameplay. It came down to the gameplay. Diablo 3 without Reaper of Souls was a shit show. Let's face it. Especially that real money auction house destroyed the whole game. And then thankfully Reaper of Souls came around. And this is what a lot of people remember. Like, it's always funny when I talk to people who started with Reaper of Souls and they're like, I don't know what you mean, Mo. Diablo 3 was actually pretty fun. It's like, yeah, you started with Reaper of Souls, right? Yeah, that explains a lot. Like, believe me when I say Diablo 3 without Reaper of Souls, oh boy. Oh boy. Like, it was bad, believe me. Especially the pay-to-win auction house, where they always said, like, yeah, we have never meddled with the items in the game so that you have to go to the real money auction house. And then Reaper of Souls came, and the patch notes. You just look up the patch notes for Reaper of Souls, or the one which I think it was a patch actually which came out before the Reaper of Souls patch, where they removed the real money auction house from the game and the normal auction house. And then, hey folks, we have completely redesigned how loot works in our game. And it's just like 4 pages long of explaining to you what they all changed to the loot. And it's like, wait, didn't you say the loot system was okay and you didn't like change the loot system in a way that it complements the auction house? You said that. And now I'm reading the patch notes and it clearly states the opposite. So but yeah, the point, sorry for this rant here for a second, but the point I want to make, I sometimes hear Blizzard talking about Diablo 4, and I have the feeling that the biggest issue with the Diablo veterans was this: the graphics. That it didn't look like Diablo 2. It didn't look like Diablo 1. I was like, yes, that was a problem. Like, it doesn't look as hyper realistic as this one. Yes, sure, that was a problem. But I can look beyond that. I have played tons of games in my life which were graphically not that exciting and didn't necessarily hit the graphically tone for me. But if the gameplay worked out, like, I was okay with it. Yeah, the Roach announcement trailer was actually created in our in-game engine, which I thought was obvious. We're seeing a little bit of mount action here. Reminds me more. Oh, interesting. A hat on the side. Hello, Witcher. Reminds me, like, the more I have seen of Diablo 3, the more I had the feeling that I'm looking at Lost Ark. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, it seems like Blizzard really took some notes from what Lost Ark is doing. Like, and I'm okay with that, just to make that absolutely clear. This is the lead character artist. Dark fantasy meets realism through physically based rendering. Diablo 4 is intended to have a look that is grounded in reality, and to achieve that we need to follow some basic rules of our color values, such as BPR, which means our materials look and react to light in a realistic way. The challenge for the 3D artist is to transfer the color of a concept drawing to PBR value. For example, in PBR, silver is a very bright gray, almost white, and the reflection of the material makes it look darker. All the characters in Diablo 4 follow the PBR rules to ensure that our characters look as good in daylight as they do in the dark dungeon. Yeah, cool. Expanding the dice system. I think the dice system, oh, this looks amazing. Love this. Hell yeah. Like, the dice system in Diablo 3 was actually a really, really cool thing, and I enjoyed it. I didn't use it as much as I could because, frankly speaking, there wasn't like a lot of interesting colors and where you would actually see the different. But this looks great. I hope you can actually colorize different item parts differently. Looking like a clown afterwards. But this looks great. I love that. An example of saucer armor type with different color palettes. Cool. Can we jump to the next one? No, we have to click them one by one. Okay. Don't mind. Yeah. Cool. I love colorization. A close-up look at our camera. The camera is one of our top priorities if we want to make sure that the character looks good and readable from the isometric perspective. It is the first thing we consider in the character development. That said, the player character will be displayed in a lot of different ways throughout the game. Whether that's the character customization screen, the inventory paper doll, social screens, and in our real-time cinematics. So there are real-time cinematics they are doing with your character from the game in it. That's cool. Which will often zoom in for a closer view of the character than in the rest of the game. To support that, we have added an extra layer of texture called detail mapping. Detail mapping is a small repetitive texture applied on top of a material that bring more sharpness and detail to the main texture. Every armor set in Diablo 4 has 2 body types. Here's an armor set for the barbarians, with some subtle differences between them too. Okay, not gonna lie. This, first of all, I love that this is the same armor set and it looks kind of different. But I wonder if you can actually choose here. Can you swap the armor set? just asking for a friend here. Like, this is what the male wears and this is what the female wears. No, we are not doing that. Too much boobs. I mean, I'm just asking. No, I really wonder if you can actually choose like how it looks, or if they will predetermine that. But hey, looks cool. I like it. Another example of a different rogue body types wearing the same armor. Oh, that's interesting. So this is the male rogue. Yeah. It definitely looks a little bit different. He's definitely thick, as they say nowadays. Yep, that dude is definitely buff and this is more slender. I like that. That's cool. Like Blizzard Blizzard has tried to hide that, like especially when you look back at World of Warcraft, where basically the body armor is just a skin over the body. Like you can see that so much when you look at an orc or even like a Tauren, right? And you look at those armors they sometimes wear and it's really just a stretched out skin all over the body. I was like, oh. Like, it doesn't look too good. Like, don't get me wrong, you can also see that on a human character or even on the night elf, but you definitely notice it more with like an orc or Tauren character. And I love that you don't really notice it here too much. Like, that they actually put like multiple layers on it. Also, like, this is one of the things I really have to point out here. Look at all the details they have. Like, the different layers. Like, they have some cloth here, right? Then you can see the chainmail. Then they have a shoulder patch, which is not bigger than the head. Good. Love it. Like, I love the variety on this. Like, it has a bit of a Middle East Indian feeling to it when you look at it. I love that. I think that looks amazing. I really, really love that design. Like, it's not flashy. It's not like you are getting blinded, like World of Warcraft is doing this, of course, with high fantasy, where you are sometimes looking at the character and you are like, oh damn, where are my sunglasses? This is a lot. This is, by the way, where I always find it hilarious when people are looking at the World of Warcraft armor set, then they are looking at the Final Fantasy armor set, and it's like, oh, this is so Animaru. Like, Final Fantasy is so Animaru over the top. And I'm like, have you played World of Warcraft? Like, have you seen some of the armors they're using? It's also completely over the top. Yeah, it gives an Assassin's Creed vibe, now that you mention it. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good point. Again, I love it. I actually love it. This looks great. Like, look at that. Like, I think he's wearing different boots. I think. Maybe it's the same. But it looks great. I love the difference. Really do. This looks great. Love it. Here's a video clip in slow motion of the rogues, which is recorded in real-time engine. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, that's 3 minutes long? Let's have a look. Oh, not in 4K. The bitrate is suffering. Ooh, that looks good. I love the armor pieces. That's definitely one of the early ones. The weapons look brutal. Ooh, look at that mask. Get over here. Hey, young Geralt. I really love also how the armor moves. Ooh. Yeah, definitely getting a lot of like Assassin's Creed vibes from this. Especially with that left arm. Yeah, I love the armor pieces here. Ooh. That Death Stranding mask. Girl, you have something in your face there. So this is where they're showcasing the different armor sets on male and female. Yeah, it looks very, very brutal. Like very rough. Still pretty. It really reminds me a lot of like Conan. Like Conan Exiles, Age of Conan, the MMO. Like this one has a very much like Conan style to me. Like pretty, but very rough around the edges, like tore down. Like you see it right here, like right where it tears and tears, and yeah, very, very Conan art style is what I see here. Like if somebody would have told me I'm looking like at the new Conan game, I would be like, yeah. Yeah, I can see this. Well, keep in mind it will be visible in the cinematics, which will be real time, as they said. But I have to say, when you look at Lost Ark, like Lost Ark has a lot of like really good animations, and you see them from the isometric view. Ooh, that looks neat. Gives me a Thieves vibe. Ooh. Well, there's your glowing equipment. Probably one of the endgame sets. That was cool. Let's see, we have more. Well, wait. There's more. We have the Barbarians. Let's have a look at the Barbarians, shall we? Yeah, very Conan style. Like the more I'm realizing it, like the more I see it. Oof. That's a big hammer. I love the armor on the hand. and on the arms, like the leather. Damn! Hello, Chaos Warrior. They definitely draw some inspiration from like multiple fantasy settings, which is good. That fur though, that's a lot of fur. Does that mean barbarians are now furries? Get it? Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, that looks good. It's interesting that they're not focusing too much on the shoulders this time, which is great. Damn. Even though I would have to say he needs some armor, man. Definitely reminds me of the Chaos Warrior. Love the music. See, Chaos, I see what you're saying. The gameplay will make or break it to you. That's fine. But keep in mind, this quarterly update is about art. And I don't really see the need to talk about gameplay here because they had quarterly updates where they already talked about gameplay. So it's not like this is now the third or fourth? I think this is the fourth quarterly update, and so they're focusing on the art this time. So that's what I'm focusing on. Like I understand what you're saying, but it's like, yeah, it's not really the topic of this one this time. And the next one will be sound design. Oh, the Blood Bishop. Our game design goal for the Blood Bishop was to make a caster who would cast direct damage and create an AoE bomb for an area of denial. As for the visual notes, we wanted a high-level boss based on the vampiric blood and magic. We knew we wanted to double down on the notion of heart shape for the function of the blood magic. That naturally led to the notion of Arterius created these blood clots that explode to cast the AoE effect design needs. Oh my god, look at that thing. Oh my god. There's no sound. Oh, like this is all like skin and flesh. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, let's. Oh. Oh, wow. Tentacles. Yeah, just him rotating. Okay. What the? Ooh. Oh, look at that. Interesting. What is this? Oh, close up on the... That was cool. Bit ew, but cool. The Skeleton Lord. The process was similar, but this time we had a visual concept to work from. This undead skeleton lord is made of fused skeleton and body parts with sinew and blood connection knit together. Okay, let's have a look at this dude. Ooh. Yo, they put a lot of details into those now. I love that. Like, look at all the different details. Like, you have some armor plates here, you have this cage helmet, you have all those skeletons, then you have some skeletons on the staff. And there's still, like, you can still see the flesh underneath the bones of armor. There's a lot of detail here. I love that. Like, this looks great. Very grim, very dark feeling to it. Yep. Oh, what are you? Oh, this looks... Ah. Ew. Ew. Thank you, I saw enough. Speaking of the ew moments, I really want to back into Diablo games. Like, I didn't have that feeling with Diablo 3. I never had this, ew, that's disgusting. Skeleton Lord gives you some Path of Exile feelings. This looks cool. A little bit weird to use your hands like your wings, ears, but she looks cool. Damn, also those fingers. That looks really good, really cool. Love how that looks. Yeah. That looks amazing. A modern pipeline. In order to achieve this, we needed the process and technology to realize these amazing and honestly disturbing creations. Yeah, yes, I agree with that. Very disturbing. Ooh. To do what we have to build a world-class team creating monsters and demons at a level of quality that raises the bar for the Diablo series. This knight is covered head to toe in metal and fabric that reacts differently based on the lighting. You can see nice details and materials break on the hard surface that your eyes expect to see. Well, then let's have a look. Pale Knight. Yo, that looks cool. Damn, that armor, man. That is a full plate armor. Of the tower shield. Neat. That looks really cool. I like that. Organic surfaces also are represented accurately in our engine. Fur, bone, flesh, and blood are all visible. Well, let's have a look at that, right? Oh, wow. That's like the Cerberus and a half. Ooh, look at that thing. It's you. Damn. Looks good. Yeah. It looked good. It was nice. Like it's good to see that they're also focusing a little bit of the art direction they're going. And that's exactly what I said at the beginning. Like, Diablo 3 didn't make or break it for me because of the graphics, but I never felt I enjoyed the graphics and the art direction they did go with Diablo 3 because it was still very bright. Like, there were a lot of bright colors in Diablo 3. Or not bright colors is the wrong term. Warm colors. There was a lot of warmth in Diablo 3, and I sometimes felt like it didn't make sense in the area you were in. Like, sure, if you were in the desert area, having some more warm colors is definitely fine, but they also did that to a lot of, like, when a city is burning, and they had like a lot of warmth colors with it, and it's like, I understand flames makes sense, but it still doesn't feel right in this moment. So I love what they're doing here now. There's also a lot of detail. Like, you can see it with this dude. Like, I said it before, Diablo 3 was sometimes lagging a lot of details. I mean, look at this shield. The shield alone is already a fantastic example of how much detail there is. This is where you can put a spear, right? You have all those used markers and scratched surfaces. Then you have the emblem, and then you have some more metal spikes. Like, again, it looks pretty, but also rough. It looked used. They put a lot of details here into this shield. The same goes for the armor and the weapon part. Like you can see right here, like there's so much detail in the armor, which you can see. And then even the weapon has a lot of like surface details. Now you're of course saying like, yeah, but how much will you see from an isometric view? Even if you don't see it in the isometric view, you will see it in the cutscenes, and when you open up your inventory, like your character will be there. And there was always like a thing, I wanted to look at my character in Diablo 3. I wanted to be a little bit proud of the things I have achieved item-wise. And when you did scroll in and look at the character, it looked like, oh, whew, it looked like mashed potatoes. All right. So I really, really love the detail they're now putting into the game. I like this. Yeah. But that was a look at the quarterly update of Diablo 4. And we will definitely be back with the next one, which is the sound design. I'm kind of curious what they will showcase there, because don't get me wrong, I think the sound design in Diablo 1, 2, and 3 was sufficient. It was never blowing me away, but it was sufficient. So I'm curious what they will showcase here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please, if you're on your way out, don't forget to click on the like button. Or, well, if you didn't like this video, the dislike button is right next to it. And then, of course, if you are new to the channel, you want to see more Diablo reaction videos and more quarterly updates, I would appreciate if you might consider to give a subscription to the channel. And if you also want to watch me streaming live, you can do that from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 AM ET at trovo.live/ChaosMole. You'll find the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.